I mean, it just started a few hours ago, so there's that. Yeah, weird thing this morning, because due to a whole bunch of different circumstances, wound up, well, awake at a very ungodly hour, quite frankly. So yeah, figured what the hell. I can't really get back to sleep anyway, let's go do this. Did promise to do this the other day, and then just kind of didn't end up doing that, so, anyway. Last time we basically were in a situation where... what the hell was going on here? Well, this guy ended up dying, so we can go ahead and fire him. Since I guess this was also kind of an impromptu... I don't know what you'd really call it. Kind of a no revive run. Why not? Alright, so let's go ahead and remove this guy. He's gonna go ahead and be allowed to be zombified. And alright. Let's see if anyone can potentially get any class changes here. Replace all soldierly guys, and what classes do we have? Only one guy can be a knight. Who can be a berserker here? Apparently no one. What? Alright, come on, apparently one of you can be one. That's kind of odd. I think it might be one of those cases where it's basically saying Magnus can be one, but yeah, I don't really know. Actually, no, Dio wouldn't be. So who the hell could potentially turn into one? I'm assuming the Knight guy, maybe. Yeah, it's probably the Knight guy. All right, any one of these basic soldiering lanterns get to be? No. Okay. All right, whatever. They're just gonna kind of be sitting around then, and we'll leave it at that. Kind of spending too much time on this anyway. And away we go. Mostly because ideally, a couple fights from now, I want to be able to pick up that book thing I was talking about last time. Man. Yeah, it's funny. Well, I guess less funny as much as just kind of a bummer. The wife got called in today. Well, I guess it was kind of their shift, but still. But yeah, thankfully only for a few hours, so we still get to have a proper Christmas pretty soonish. Yeah, wound up being up all night for different reasons. And yeah, backstory on this guy. This dude's... I don't know why they wrote this guy this way. It might just be translation errors or something like that. So, Ankseth here, the super armored guy, basically, main guy's dad just runs up and stabs the guy that was trying to kill his kid, and then just never really bothers to tell anyone. Like, he legit just throws away his life for no reason. Because as far as I'm aware, they don't really ever cover why exactly he never bothers to pipe up about any of it. He's just kind of like, no, I guess I'm just throwing away my status now. Time to go throw my family to the wolves. So... there's that. Alright. So, as Old Man Jones says, this one's about saving a castle. This is your first kind of split moment here. You end up coming back to this map later. Actually, I believe you end up coming back to most of them. Always loved the name of this one. This is the Dunkweld Castle. Basketball castle. It's your first one, I believe, that you run into flying units, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. So, Yumel's just basically needing to be guarded. And, all things considered, he doesn't usually need that much guarding. Like, you get a free leader out of this fight. Basically, dude's just hanging out on the very top there. But, yeah, it's one of the ones you kind of want to rush through a little bit, but you also still have to guard the HQ. Alright. And I might be wrong in this. I remember somebody told me that Yumel's team will actually go faster if you do this 1 second. Could be wrong in that. Probably. It does seem like the kind of thing that might be a little bit too far out there, but oh well. No idea. No idea whatsoever. But man, this volume's up super friggin' loud. It's burning my ears off. There, fixed it. man. Dio's... I swear, who would ever want this guy on their team? He's like going nuts at every possible opportunity. He's like the definition of a liability. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. See, I say that, and at the same time, they've got absolutely nothing on the complete and utter liability that is the main character from Front Mission 3. It's like every time I go back to that, I keep thinking like, man, this robot game's fun until any time that the main character starts talking. It's kind of astounding, really. All right, so here's how we're doing this, because this is just kind of an issue that comes up several times. You are going to go guard the dang mountains. That's fine. Yeah, you just go here. I'll go ahead and dispatch several more. I need to have... I think... Yeah, we'll have you as one of the attacking teams. We'll have you go ahead and take this one. Let's see, who else? Yeah, Swan, the witch that never dies. Probably have her go ahead and charge forward to this one. And probably have one of the ones that was carrying last time set defending. We'll have Dio run up over here. Handle that one, and yeah, I think we'll leave everybody else on defense. It's like Leah in particular. Because this one, I remember being one of the first ones that legitimately gave issues. I believe every time past this point, too, they actually let you know about the Birdmen, which is a nice touch. Because they're like, hey, do you remember that one fight where they were a massive issue? Well, about that. Alright, for some reason, he really wants to go after them. Weird. And actually, this is another one that, like, I guess you could see it as either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on who's talking. But yeah, one of the few cases for how legions were actually handled in this game comes from it comes from how all of your retreat mechanics and stuff like that work in this one, where in some cases you'll end up getting a unit that you legitimately beat over and over, but you end up accidentally chasing them into your HQ. And like, for example, if you try to retreat and catch them before they get there, you may potentially just get them there faster. It's not one. Like, it's one of those ones that they specifically had an item that you could use in Black Queen that basically said, okay, you ran into this situation. There's somebody booking it towards your base. You're already capped on units. Here's this item that'll essentially allow you to go send somebody back. Which yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that wasn't a thing in this one. I guess they wanted to make people think about it a little bit more. Also, gotta say, looking back over the video of the last part of this, felt like a moron, because, yeah, with the Amazons here, they get their multiple shots in the back, but they only get the one in the second row. For some reason, I was thinking that they got their second shot, or they started getting 2 shots in the second row. Really felt dumb about that one afterwards, but oh well. No big deal. Also, yes, Swan Squad here just never seems to lose. That's fine. Like, seriously, if it wasn't for them being a mascot, I probably would have picked a different run to do this with. But just, I don't know, just the weird situation here where one of the most worthless classes is somehow absolutely carrying the army is just something to love, you know? I adore when that happens. And somebody was asking me the other day, so if there is more interest in seeing like Formula Front done with just that terrible AI, or even with just a Dio, I can try that at some point. That came up the other day, where somebody was asking what the hell ever happened to that run idea. It's almost like the Beastmaster was annoyed. They're like, hey, save the town, just in case anyone gives a crap. I'm still here. It's still kind of awesome, but guess I don't get to do very much. Alright. I'm probably going to go ahead and have them assist in the charge here, because UMIL's team's going to take over guarding this place pretty soon. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so witches and like some of the general crappy caster characters in the series in general, they're one of those things that I guess it was one of the reasons that originally I wasn't super big on the PSP remake for Tactics Ogre, which is hilarious because now I've literally been playing it for a decade straight, despite having issues with it. That's some interesting design right there. But yeah, they kind of lost some of that that flavor there. Like here's a character that is effectively just a walking flashbang. And in most cases, you probably would never want to use one until you wind up going and running into one. Like I don't know how many folks went out of their way in Night of Lotus to go pick up the one witch you run into early on, just because the charm move is so friggin' rare that it's ridiculous. And if anyone else ran into a team that had absolutely no resistance for that fight, like I know first time through I had this weird case where they kept putting everyone to sleep and charming people and everything else. It was kind of nuts. But and yeah, there we go. She is still continuing to dominate. This is just it's just comical. Are we kidding? Some people just people spend Christmas doing things different ways. Alright, so we'll go ahead and send her back, just for safety. Seems like Magnus wants to head over here. I think for safety, actually, we're going to go ahead and send Leah over here. I'm kind of overstretching a little bit, but this specific scenario I've seen come up on this map a few times, where just units started getting pushed back from this fort into the neutral town. And a lot of the maps are designed that way, where just like specifically the enemy units... I'm assuming their AI probably wasn't advanced enough to force them to make strategic decisions over where exactly to go at any given time. But with how far the pushback is when they're forced to retreat, in many cases they will usually just end up making those decisions anyway, because the AI just tells them get to the nearest town, and they've already been pushed out of the one that they were supposed to be defending, so they're like, crap, I guess we'll go for this other one over here. It's neutral, whatever, we don't have to worry about points. And so they end up doing that, and yeah, they end up making a smart choice, even though they probably weren't intending to. Maybe the AI actually is designed to that, and I'm just kind of underestimating it, but given how the rest of the series typically gets slapped together, I'm assuming that's probably what happened. Because AI has never been this thing's strong point. And funnily enough, it turns out that's actually on purpose. Like, they intentionally just wanted to make a series that was primarily about the setting, and then everything else kind of just came second, so that's where you get weird characters like, the crappy spellcasters and fairies and stuff like that, where they're legitimately just there for flavor, which is what makes it all the more fun to go and do runs using just those. Actually, come to think of it, witch-only run, that sounds like a pretty fun idea at some point. I'm not even sure how that would work, but... I think for Night of Lotus, yeah, I guess it would work, but good God, that would be tedious. I mean, I'd probably just edit the ROM to allow them to be edited or bought from the store. For anyone unaware, the reason that'd be annoying is because you specifically need an emblem for that one, for a female character recruiting a male one, and the base odds of that are 4%. If you get them down to like 1 health, sometimes you can get that up to 7 or 8%, and that still just involves having them take turn after turn after turn after turn, and they get a free counterattack every time they fail to persuade someone, which is why the arbitration emblem is awesome. And hello there, Mr. Vale, Merry Christmas! I wasn't expecting anyone to be showing up here this ungodly hour. Yeah, I wound up wrapping a bunch of gifts, and, my wife got called in for a weird shift, so, kind of wound up not sleeping tonight. And we're here to recruit adolescent. Man, it's like a random Spaniard-looking guy. Like, you dudes look strong. Why can I just be in your army now? This ain't suspicious. I mean, it's not. This dude's all right. He's legitimately one of my favorite characters in this game. Not for any other reason other than he's just the first guy that shows up. He's like, I got a shield, I got a spear, this is all I need. I'm good. And in fact, we're about to go give him his own squad, because that one Knight Commander died. His parents named him Helen of Troy, but he refuses to introduce himself as Troy to play it off. Oh God, man. So what if you don't hire him? It's just like it's like a Dark Souls scenario at that point. He just goes full princess mode by the end. He's just a floating wizard for some reason. Yes, Mr. Vale, I'm fully aware that you haven't played that game. I'm specifically mentioning that just to mess with you there, but... okay, to explain what the hell I'm talking about, there's this weird moment where there's just, like, the main prince of the kingdom where that one takes place, except for whatever reason, I forget what the exact logic is, but they're just like, well, we wanted a girl, not this dude, so they just raise him as a girl anyway. So it's just this dude floating around in, like, a flowy dress and tiara that's one of the hardest bosses in the game. That specifically only shows up if you kill his sister. You have to go out of... Well, actually, there's two different ways that you can get him to show up, but, you gotta go out of your way to find that dude. It's really strange. But you can just Google Dark Moon boss. I think it was, like, some... cosmological reason that they decided that he was supposed to be a girl or something. It was weird. Anyway. And then, yeah, he just kind of becomes lunch for a monster in DS3. Like, he legit just apparently gets eaten by one of the other bosses. That series has some odd canon behind it. Also, what the hell was I doing? Oh, yeah, Troy. Troy was getting his own army. And unfortunately, you can't name each of these individual teams, otherwise he absolutely would probably get, like, the Myrmidons or something. Alright, let's form a unit. Alright. Let's go ahead and put you about the front there. Let's go ahead and put you up here, put you up here. Random corpse of dude guy over there, and we'll... these guys over here, and that's looking pretty alright. Yeah, I kind of wish you could rename the individual squads. That'd be pretty cool. I still don't know why Sarah here doesn't have more units. Probably should have handled that prior to all this. Actually, come to think of it, she's currently sitting on the capital, isn't she? See, some characters who seem very important end up just randomly dying due to normal monsters out of the blue. Steve, I'm talking about Steve the Fairy and the Cockatrice. Fair. Also, this Dunkweld thing. Like, okay, I kept going on and on about the basketball jokes last time, but now I just keep hearing the Siege of Dunkeld in my brain. Just because everything by Glory Hammer is crazy catchy. Alright, unit commands, add character. Yeah, I think Sarah's going to be our Centurion, if we can make that happen. Just because I want to be able to use Centurions. I just want an excuse to use Centurions. Like, maybe that'll be the challenge this run, just make a use for Legions. Make them function somehow. Alright, so we'll send Sarah up to the front lines here. Alright, and then Troy's going to be on guard duty for now. I want him to get promoted into something better later, but for now, we seem to be handling this just fine. Anyway, so, on to the day at hand. What are you guys up to for Christmas? So then we just kind of had multiple Christmas-related outings at once. Like, we went and visited some family friends a little bit ago. Had a sort of mini Christmas there. Like, don't worry, everybody did the whole social distancing thing prior to all this. It's like, we have our little bubbles where everyone's isolating each other. So it's this weird thing of, like, everybody's meeting a couple groups at a time and then just allegedly, isolating each other off if anything happens. I mean, knock on wood, so far this whole system's worked all year, so far so good. But, yeah, let's see, just to us, so not much. Presents, relaxing food, probably go for a walk to see the lights. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't know how the weather is over there. I know that yesterday Just, we had no snow. It was sort of cold, but we had no signs of snow whatsoever. Then it gets warm for a day, and then just for Christmas Eve and Christmas, all the snow, just several inches of snow out of nowhere. It was just awesome. I mean, granted, not so awesome for getting actual traction or driving anywhere or being safe, but hey, for the whole Christmas aesthetic, it did the job pretty alright. So, yeah. And this end, last night we were putting away the Christmas elf. Got a letter drafted up to announce their departure. Miss Mimsy, the Christmas elf, is going back to Santa's workshop and all that. You know, all things considered, I never appreciated just how useful of a tool the Christmas elf is, but good God, that just, like, it's the answer to everything around Christmas. It's like, at any point, like, oh, you're not eating your dinner, well, elf's right there. They're watching. I mean, do you want all your Christmas stuff to disappear? I'm like, oh, well, shoot, I should eat. Time to eat without any questions now. Made so many things easier. All right. I've completely lost track of what on earth we're doing here. Okay, so these guys went over there. These two are probably safe holding up there. I think we'll have Troy head over this way, because as far as I can see, the last main threat to all of this... Actually, you know what, Troy? You just do nothing. How about you just don't do anything? There we go. Because, yeah, these two are probably not getting pushed back this way anymore. They were damaged enough. Those guys up there should be just fine in terms of holding out. I'm pretty sure I picked up better stuff last time and just completely forgot. Okay, it is time for them to run. I never realized how hard Magnus was getting owned over there. Oh, never mind. I guess their team just decided to come in for the save here. Please don't die. Okay, that's a 10. Yeah, if they can retreat, they're retreating. Yeah, that party formation sucks. I need to get somebody in front of the leader. That is some unforgivably hot garbage. Alright. Oh, that's why. They're completely wiped. Alright, we need you going here and here. And on top of that, we need to change that trash awful formation. Yeah, in terms of the stuff that I was mentioning last time, again, this definitely falls into the category of I don't know what I was thinking, because it seems like 100% of everything that I was saying in terms of the formation mechanics was wrong. Like, in this particular case, there's absolutely nothing serviceable about that particular one. Because he's just left right in the open, the Amazons don't get their second shot, the fighters don't do anything in terms of defense. But there we go, they should be fine now. There we go, he gets a kill, they take out that guy, done deal. Good stuff. Alrighty. What's this? Found a robe. Apparently one of the birds had a robe. It's fine, don't question it. I mean, apparently none of this stuff is random. It's just things they happen to have. Alright, you specifically going there so that you can recover. Alright, she's going to take over formation type stuff. This guy, unfortunately, needs to start heading this way, which means Swan needs to take over sweeping up this area here. In fact, do I want to risk it with Troy? Okay, we're gonna risk it with Troy. We're gonna put him over here. Like, I'm gonna assume everything's fine. Alright, spellbook's fine. That's all well and dandy. Probably have Dio go clean up over here. Alright, first deal with them, then deal with them. You know what? Maybe that was a little... no, okay, now that I'm looking at it, maybe that was a little narrative joke or something with the formations, because Dio's default formation, hell of a lot better than Magnus's. Maybe he should have been the leader the whole time. And granted, I mean, Leah's is probably the best of the bunch, if I'm remembering it correctly. But, well... The music doesn't even get a chance to start before all the fighting happens again. Actually, you know what? Come to think of it, Mr. Vale, if you're still here, off the top of your head, do you remember, like, is it when you go back to the capital that you get access to that, like, Apocalypse book or whatever it's called? I'm trying to remember where exactly it is, because I want to say it's like 5-6 maps from now. And I remember it's on the way back, like, when you're fighting back through the map, but I don't quite remember where it is. Like, I remember on the map itself, it's on, the, like, the forward, or top right. The southeast shop in Alba? Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. Alright, we'll see where Alba is after this. Dardanelles also has the one at the special market. Okay. Then we'll check out that one. Oh, that's the border map, isn't it? Whatever, we'll check all of that out. Right, you go there. Yumel's team is gonna start having issues pretty soon. Leah needs to take a nap. Alright, I think our best bet to ensure a win here is just send the witch team that can't seem to lose. There we go. But sir, we're tired. Just put your friggin' pointy hat back on and go back to carrying the war. Okay. I think we maybe should be a little bit concerned about the fact that Dio is running around collecting random clothes off the ground, but alright. And not sure if you hear all the moving around in the background. Sorry about the noise. Kind of had the went and cleaned up the dogs a little bit ago here. So I have to have them in their kennels until they dry off, so they don't go around just turning everything to a horrible moist mess. You know what else I just noticed? So, okay, so when it comes to Night of Lotus and OB64, obviously different development team and whatever else, an odd thing, for some reason these two specifically have a thing where whenever they deal damage, if they do overkill damage, it actually just does whatever amount they would have done normally. If I'm not mistaken, for all of the for all the ones that Matsuno was a part of, and I believe that includes I don't think it was the case for FFT. I believe it includes a Vagrant story though. They actually just stopped at whatever their max health was, which isn't really useful information for absolutely anything at all, but fun little detail. Wait. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that... Yeah, I'm like 90% certain that for FFT it was just whatever damage you would have done, because you can, like, 999 stuff. Like I had a bad day. In fact, yeah, I think we'll go ahead and have her take out this one, because they seem confused. Gonna have to set up a there can only be one situation over here, I think. Alright, and I think we'll have... yeah, let's have Sarah go hunt these down, because we want her to be a Centurion later. Oh man, that's just perfect. That just looks calculated, like how that all went down. Targeted them, 1 second later they go to take a nap in camp. Perfect. Aw. Okay, this might actually be their first retreat ever, just because she got put to... Oh, wow. Never mind. Her team's just still pulling it out anyway. Yeah, that's kind of hilarious. They, even though the one unit that's been carrying them so far got put to sleep, they still managed to pull out a pretty overwhelming win there against just more advanced classes. No less there. This year's been weird. I almost feel like I'm developing a stutter. Alright, miss. Yeah, there we go. Got the resist that time. Yeah, I don't think we'll even give her any more soldier units. Whatever gets promoted, she'll just keep. I think they're going for that one achievement from XCOM, the Rite of the Valkyries or whatever, where they're just going and winning a mission with all-female units. Let's see, how did archers upgrade in March of the Black Queen? Did they go for 3 shots in the back row? They upgraded by not existing. There were no archers in March of the Black Queen. The only bow unit were the Amazons with their weird jiggle physics, and that was it. Which was kind of an odd thing. So yeah, archers got nothing. Well, actually, that's not totally true. So, funnily enough, the Amazons had 1 promotion, and that was the Princess. That was literally the only thing they could promote into, as far as I'm aware. Hey, look at that! They got a promotion right away. She's already getting started on her way to be a Centurion. But yeah. So something along those lines. Okay. And yeah, so Valkyries could promote into Muses. I forget if they... Yeah, no, they just promoted into Muses, which were just a better Valkyrie with just a palette swap, and that was about it. And then... What else? I think witches just stayed witches. Clerics could turn into priests. Or no, they could turn into monks. I think it was, I think it was like cleric, priest, monk. They got a bunch of upgrades for that. You know, everything on the kind of like lady end of promotions for March of the Black Queen was pretty half-baked. Maybe that's why they made the princess so overpowered. They're like, screw it, we can't think of anything else. Just give them the best unit in the game. Who knows? Anyway, formation-wise, this Amazon needs to go in the back to get the pew-pews. Maybe that's why they gave them jiggle physics. They wanted to try to get people to actually use them. I mean, overall logic aside, I mean, it is design. You're getting people to use the thing. Yeah, so far so good here, though. We don't really need to take that town on the bottom left. Just having Troy cover the rear here to make sure they don't take that neutral town. Funnily enough, actually, I just remembered Lap of the Gods exists. In that mod, there were archers. Although that said, they also started becoming available much, much earlier, and I believe they just start off with a better attack and then promoted into a triple attack. Still, though, they were pretty brutal. I probably should do a full playthrough of Lap of the Gods at some point. It's a really solid mod. And there's actually a possibility. Now, okay, this is based off complete speculation, based off a message from earlier, but there was somebody looking into any discoveries with the modding tools for Night of Lotus. Who knows? Maybe they'll be the next guy that makes a big old fan mod for KOL there. I've gone through most of the rebalance mod. I mean, it's all right. Like, it's not. There's nothing really wrong about it. I'm not really sure about changing the main character's hair to purple. Kind of an odd choice, but aside from that, I mean, it does the job. Which doesn't really sound like glowing praise or anything. It's just it doesn't really. As far as I've seen, it didn't really stick out that much. It just sort of, you know, it was all right. It did rebalance things a little bit. I don't feel like the rebalancing part's really what was needed for KOL. Kind of felt like maybe it needed a few more options, but it really did hit most of the marks pretty well. Not really even sure. Like, if somebody told me to go rebalance Night of Lotus, all I could really think of was just improve archers a little bit, maybe, and I mean, maybe nerf swordmasters a little. But other than that, it's fine. It does everything it needs to. Because most of the negatives with Night of Lotus are hardware related. His attack's funny. He just kind of like slaps him. These guys make you overvalue Terror Knights so much. It's like, oh man, look, it's his elite guards here. They've got all these crazy moves and they're destroying dragons and everything. They're just overleveled. They're just kind of alright. They're a male Valkyrie. Which is fine. I mean, if you really want to build your full-blown edgelord team, that's how you do it. Alright, got some experience. Doesn't seem like anybody else got any. I believe they're getting 9 experience per round right now. So I could be wrong on this, but from what people have told me, it sounds like it is... it sounds like they get experience based on the number of soldiers in the squad, which would track with the other ways that they've handled it. Alright, I'll move Troy here for defense, but there's really not much they can do to stop it at this point. Aside from holding off on taking the capital, there really isn't much left of this map. And there's not really any time left for that anyway. So you mean experience for upgrading soldiers to fighters and Amazons? Yes. Because I've been told before that it's based off of the, just like the experience gained by the leader. But as far as I've seen, that didn't seem to quite add up. Again, could be wrong on that. But based off of the fact that you seem to level up way faster with more soldier units, I don't know, it feels like it works that way. Could be wrong. I would trust the guide on that, but it seems like most of the stuff in the guide's wrong, apparently. Zontac! Are you experiencing headaches and diarrhea at the same time? Try new Zontac today! So you hear you're pretty tough. Can't lay through. We'll just kill the prince right here. Yeah, I mean, good luck with that. This guy's plan is interesting. Like, oh, we're so angry, and we're completely surrounded on all sides, but that's fine. We'll pull it out somehow. We've got a Griffin and a Hellhound. It's an okay team. I mean, Griffin's got nerfed in this one, but it's fine. We'll figure it out. Let's see, everyone gets you X soldier points based on how many there are. When it hits 100, one evolves. Okay, so yeah, if you have like a group with only 2 healers left, you can send soldiers plus healer at them and upgrade as many soldiers as you want. Fair enough, so then it's totally how that works. Yeah, I wish you could unlock legions before the actual legion mechanic gets unlocked. If you could get them early on in the game, I feel like it would have worked a lot better. But since you have to wait till end game until it triggers. Ascent Cross, held by the leader, changes the gender of soldiers in that group, so female, yep. That one I'm aware of. I mean, its description doesn't explain very much. So he's going to die here without exacting revenge? I mean... yeah, His plan was dumb. I'ma stand right in the open. Surely all these armed people can't possibly kill me. What's funny is this fight, you kind of have to go out of your way to lose this one. Just because Yumil's team is kind of over-leveled for this fight. See, there's a second counter. If a leader upgrades 20 troops, they unlock the Centurion when legions unlock. Or for an all-female run to give you someone to use the good swords. Oh, is this the weird homoerotic scene? I think it might be. But it's 20. I thought it was 5. Oh, that's gonna take forever. Alright, whatever. We'll make that happen. Eventually. He needed to know for himself. They were tired of life and the thingamajig and the stuff. They're like, why don't you come along? And it's weird, it's weird that the translation team felt to put, what do you mean by that? Seriously, whoever translated this, I guarantee that's what they were trying to imply. Oh, man. Didn't imagine people were treated so cruelly. I mean, it's kind of amazing you missed that, actually. Everyone around you is kind of a dick. Let's see, could be wrong. Maybe it's 10. Usually I go in for the big hat. I mean, 10 could be right. I don't know. I've heard from 5 to 7. You said 20. 10's like 10 works, but it seems weirdly clean for this series. It's always something very random. Like, no, it's just 9. You specifically need to get 9. What can they do with the mine? I mean, they could have had the whole army there. It was just 2 dudes. They're a boss later. Leveling, scaling isn't so nuts in this game. You probably actually could have taken them. By the way, do you know if this came out before or after the Star Wars prequels? I'm wondering if the the fact that all of your all your main characters have the braid. Looking at it now, I'm kind of wondering if it is possibly the whole Jedi braid thing going on. Also, how could he be called a traitor? He is literally about to become king. I mean, the only time that kings get called traitors are usually when they're actually trying to do a good thing, I guess. Which, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there's the line. Wants him to be his knight, huh? It's so awkward. Anyway. So, awkward delivery aside, what else we got going on here? What was I doing here? Oh yeah, she got her units. Let's go ahead and fix her whole unit situation here. So congratulations on your Amazon. Your order will be delivered shortly, and we'll go ahead and give you a new soldier squad to train. There we go. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and Episode 6, Person of Larger Caliber, came out within 2 months of each other. Oh, crap. Now, did they have previews, is the question. Alright, that one's probably not... Yeah, this one's not going to have any leader points at the moment, so I think what we do... Yeah, I kind of want that one to promote naturally. That's just kind of what her whole team's going for right now. Alright, we'll replace that one. Now we'll go to the formation menu. This is absolutely not a weird way to have everything put together, but it's understandable. Okay, and there we are. See, braids like that for guys were big back then, no idea why. I mean, was it kind of like the man bun of the time? I mean, that all said, every martial arts school I ever went to definitely had folks with them. I mean, for what it's worth, for some folks, it does look pretty cool. Actually, there was this one girl that went to one of the schools I went to that actually used it like a whip. I was like, that is just cool as hell. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even care that mess hurts. That's just cool. If there's a historical thing for it, Romans, Greeks, Canadians, not Romans, Greeks. I believe Greeks had a thing for the beards. I mean, for Canadians, I think you just apologize so hard someone dies. Also, this is the map where if the bridge explodes, it changes your entire route through the game. It's kind of nuts. Alright. And this is also an opportunity to get some kind of item if we save a rape victim. It's weird here. I forget if that event happens during this particular one. But we need to have Magnus go left to see if that's the one. They're trying to lead a group of peasants and aren't bothering anyone. That's why we're going to go in and murder everyone. Great plan. We're the good guys. Remember that. All the war crimes through this game, we are the good guys. So does it explode this time or when you come back? I think when you come back. Because, yeah, for this one, I remember always taking the left path. And this is where they're like, hey, Swordmasters exist. Did you know Swordmasters exist? Because they do. There's one right here. You should probably go fight it now. So let's go ahead and move you here. I think this is the town with, Actually, we'll probably come back there later. Because we don't want to accidentally take it. Actually, for that matter, do you know how hard the reputation loss is if you take a neutral town? Like, are you just screwed forever if you take one? I'd imagine it's probably not that harsh, but still. Alright, we'll have most of the main offensive characters go this way, leave 2 squads on defense. It is kind of odd that you're usually better off leaving 2 squads to defend in this game. Like in March of the Black Queen, you were usually good with 1, and in this one, you usually want 2. I mean, at least if you're going for this kind of like permadeath situation. So in neutral town, you lose 2 reputation if you take it on this level. I mean, nothing happens if we come back and just visit the map, right? I think liberation is +1, capture, neutral is always a capture is -2. Okay. Okay, so it's not as harsh as BQ. Like, I think Black Queen was like 4 or something. Also, Mr. Troy coming in with his unrealistic expectations at his low level. After he starts getting outpaced by basic soldiers in the mid-game. Actually, for that matter, do you know if there's actually any way to check your current reputation situation aside from comments from random townsfolk? Let's see, and if the enemies capture a neutral town, you get like -2, like you owned it, but there's no capturing during exploration mode. Gotcha. Gotcha. That makes perfect sense. So if you beat the game, it'll give you the number. Otherwise, not really, just by who you can recruit. Okay. Gotcha. Makes sense. Oh, crap. I fell for the trap. Alright. Whatever, let's just go capture it then. Yeah, they do love making these little traps with neutral towns. Like, I feel like that one's probably almost a tutorial moment with how almost unavoidable it is. It's not a big deal, it's just kind of a weird thing. See, if they take it and you capture it, that's -4. If they take it and you liberate, that's only -1. Okay. Hang on, wait. So, if I take it right now, won't that be a liberation? Right? Before we march on in there? Ah, whatever. We'll see in a second. Captured. Eh. Oh, wait, that's the factor? I thought it was whether they were neutral or not. Okay, in that case, hang on. What is your morale situation here? Okay, so he's a neutral. What is this town? The town is, like, exactly neutral, so... What? Yeah, Magnus is 50-ish. The town is exactly 50. So... What? I mean, I can pull up his little alignment grid, see where that is. Neutral must have a capture only? Yeah, I guess. Maybe they're the equivalent of a red state, they're just never happy with anything. But we have a disaster! Why won't you let... You got hit by a hurricane, why won't you let us rebuild your house? Oh, it's communism! Who knows? And the Dollmaster's such a weird class in this game. Like, it goes from absolute trash to one of the best units, depending on what item they're carrying. I kind of wish they brought that mechanic back for later games, too. You just never really see it again. Well, not exactly true. Like, they tried to sort of... They tried to sort of make it work in, in the PSP remake. Like, with all the books, all of the spellbook items giving you a weird racial effect and stuff like that. Like, if you read a certain book, you became super racist against lizards, and so you fought them better. But aside from that, I mean, there was the one that let you teleport. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. See, the funny part is, there's a whole community of very dedicated modders for this game that probably could have gone ahead and asked before going into this whole thing. But as per usual, the idea is to go into it with as much idiocy as possible. It's the only way. Alright, that dude is about to bite it. Should we have them run? No, stick it out. Okay, good. They don't have a second attack. Perfect. Which is funny, because ninjas are kind of terrible. See, same thing happens in real life when you carry around a copy of Ayn Rand all the time. Ah, jeez. Oh, and there goes the dog again. Man, who designed this party right here? You can definitely tell that they're retreating right now. We have a priest up front, just healing, and we have the dragon way in the back, because we have to have the priest protecting the dragon, you know? It ups the tragedy factor. You know, if they made a modern remake of this, could you imagine? Like, if somehow this got the AAA treatment, like, every time you're going around and completely screwing over someplace, they have them do all these just dramatic moments over and over. See, I would say a Last of Us kind of thing, but everything I've seen from the second one was kind of questionable. I was a little bit surprised to see how much stuff they won recently, but oh well. We'll pretend that wasn't bought. Let's see. There's a nanny talking to 3 children and their pet lizard for a walk. Oh yeah. Abso-friggin-lutely. Seriously, what is Swan's deal here? They just take no crap from anybody. Just get hit by a friggin' earthquake and just blocked it with a stick. She's just over here blocking, putting everybody just like paralyzing everybody. I mean, she's like a weird, half-naked magical Komodo dragon. Actually, wait, they do... No, wait, they poison. They don't... whatever. Screw it. Screw it. That almost was a joke that made sense. Almost, but not really. And in fact, let's have you go after this one. You, Mr. Dude Guy, can go ahead and try to take this town. In fact, you know what? Maybe let's go ahead and have you take the town anyway. Because as soon as they get there, their reinforcements should back off. They're not in the greatest shape, but that'll be fine. I don't remember if they have flyers coming up the river in this encounter. So I know that's a castle and the thought balloon over their head, but my brain always sees it as a cake and goes, cake. It really does look like a cake. Like, god dang it, why didn't we at least bring some muffins? This expedition's trash. Also, I think we might as well just assume the overall magnetic field of the Earth kind of backfired here. Because for their migration south, there we go. Now they seem to be back on track. Alright, so now that Swan has a chance to rest, she can take her shockingly bloodthirsty self down that way. And we can have Sarah over here go ahead and murderize these ones for some free experience, I suppose. Yeah, I almost feel like Swan the Witch here needs to be added to the weird memes of all these runs. It's like, just... I'm just imagining this, like, friggin' World War II, or no, like, Vietnam commando, just dressed up as a witch. They're all hiding in the trees, gotta go get all those fire lightning ball things going. Oh, jeez. That's messed up. Hey, they got another Amazon. The full Amazon squad's complete. I mean, she's got a full fire team here and everything. Oh, jeez. Alright, let's go ahead and change their formation around. And yeah, I'm aware they're kind of missing out on an attack. I'd prefer to have her 2 stuns. Don't know what I'm trying from that menu. Leah's gonna be a little bit underleveled. Wait. Nope. We're not doing that crap. Get yourself right back in there. Yeah, I don't even want to mess with her AI settings. Whatever's happening here is going fantastically. Yeah, once again, just blocking away stuff as if it doesn't even matter. It's one basic as hell witch, just coming here wrecking squad after squad. Absolutely brutal. And in fact, I think we'll go ahead and have Sarah eat this team first. It's going to be a little bit easier for all her little soldier lemmings. Little hungry little lemmings, because they probably should be about to fall asleep. So you were up to 4 watchers until you made it to the red state joke and made the end round joke? Ah, jeez. We pissed off the South. Although, on a bit of a funny note, I find it just far more hilarious. Okay, just while we're on the topic of bashing on red states here, there is one very positive thing I have to say about Florida. Because it's not very many cases that you can look at a lot of HOA stuff in Florida and be like, man, this is actually a legitimately positive thing for once. Because that never happens. But I saw the first and possibly only time in history where that happened on the news the other day. Because apparently Dude Guy can't go back to their to their resort over there due to some weirdly specific HOA agreement that they can only spend like 3 weeks or something at their actual place. That it's supposed to be a business, and that I guess they like reclaim the building or something along those lines if they try to go back any more than that. I was like, man, this is the only time that there's anything positive to say about an HOA. It's kind of great. But anyway, anyone that's lived in Florida knows exactly what the hell I'm talking about. And for anyone that hasn't been to Florida before, here's how it works. All right, so say, you know, you and your family or whatever else go to Florida. You have a house, a nice little neighborhood. And then a bunch of folks approach you after you've already gone through closing, letting you know they own you now. And you might be thinking, you know, but you just bought the property. I mean, you bought the house, you moved in there, you're paying for it, you're paying the taxes. Yeah, you're in their territory, though. You're going to listen to their oddly specific rules. If they suddenly decide that they want to see some different curtains, you're getting those curtains, or they're taking your house. It's messed up. Again, favorite / most horrifying story about that was this case where, like, years ago I was going and touring different properties, kind of at the height of right after the big crash and all that. And there was one house that was just moldy all throughout. Place looked absolutely disgusting, just clearly in disrepair all over the place. And yeah, there was the whole story from the realtor and everything else that, well, there was a nice family living here until suddenly one day they got different curtains, and I guess they were out on vacation or whatever else, and they didn't realize that the HOA was just unhappy about their curtains. Because apparently those curtains were not the correct shade of red or whatever crap it was for their community. And so over the course of these guys being on vacation or whatever the hell they were up to at the time, apparently they had come back, found out that they had been basically evicted out of the house that they own, that they can't, not like they still have it, they just can't live there anymore. And then from there had gone and, actually wait, before I forget, Magnus, you need to go back here and talk to somebody in this town. Oh, Sway Jabus. The only people that show up that are, like, not Vale and Evan most of the time are these dang spam bots. What do you guys want? There we go, it's gone now. Anyway, so like I was saying, so yeah, they end up losing their house and everything else. They end up having to sell the place, but they can't sell it to the next one for... I forget what exactly it was. Like, the HOA just kept getting involved and screwing them over and over and over, to the point where they basically just had to leave the house and give it up entirely, and that was that. So what resulted was, yeah, this perfectly fine house with slightly different curtains just became this moldy hellhole because they just decided to evict somebody because they felt like it. That's the kind of thing that happens in Florida because, well, I mean, you got a bunch of old folks that are, like, in their 80s and want to become kings and queens, so they decide to go have their little mini kingdoms, more or less. It sucks. But yeah. So, moral of the story, Florida is, it's got nice beaches. As far as living there, though, get ready for some BS. Just, HOAs there are terrifying. They're okay in some other places. Like, it obviously depends on the state. Generally, they're usually a negative. Sometimes they're there for a reason. Like, in California, I completely understand they've got, like, their little pockets going on. Especially around LA County and stuff like that, you see some HOAs, and you can see they just built up their little pocket there, and they're very protective of it. Okay, that I understand, but, like, in Florida, they get super carried away with it. So you get all kinds of fun, depressing stories out of that. But, you know, that's just Florida for you. So, that all aside, I think we're doing mostly okay here. Would be good to see Sarah's team here moving up a little. And there we go, Mr. Fabio himself. We can hire that guy later. Actually, considering that I completely missed him the last few runs, it's a little funny how lax his recruitment requirements are. In both games, for that matter. Especially considering they're kind of a major character in both cases. And these guys are trying to be sneaky. Forgot about that. Alright, you're going to try to cut them off there. You are going to try to go this way. We'll see how well that works out. Yeah, those guys sometimes will try to cut their way up north through the mountains. It's a pretty cool thing. Go on, Debonair, and you will remember my hair. I didn't practice that that Fabio accent. Whatever happened to that guy? Is he still around? Or do they just sort of ascend or something? They just became a mountain. I think that's what happens with tall people, right? They just sort of eventually retire and become a mountain. Alright. And this ninja squad refuses to die. I think that's, what, 2 or 3 times that they've been reduced to next to nothing? Or actually, this might be a different team, because one of them... No, they didn't die. The middle guy almost died, but he blocked it at the last second. Is it usually leg clots kill them since they have no room in cars or planes? Ah! Makes sense, makes sense. That makes perfect sense. I was watching this thing yesterday over somebody going over the physical limitations of weird fantasy designs. And specifically, one of them was over very thin giants. Like, these guys need some bulk or something going on, because if you just scale up the human skeleton, they're going to fold over like a piece of paper. When you get slightly taller people that are already getting joint issues by the time they're in their 30s, so you can only imagine how short of a lifespan this gigantic guy has. Although, that brought to mind a different question, which was, what if you potentially just give them more legs? You know? You just give them, like, 2 spines coming up in an arc, and then you just give them, 4 or 6 or whatever, just normal, gigantically muscular legs. Just this horrible, just abomination. Need to get somebody to draw that. Or maybe, no, it would probably have to be, like, some weird spine pyramid. And then, like, a really tiny head perched on top. Like a normal human head perched on top, because, spine stuff. But then they've got several arms and several legs, but just the legs are weirdly meaty. But then they've got a bunch of smaller arms. Kind of like a jacked up T-Rex, I guess. Maybe that's what the T-Rex was. It was just the closest we ever got to that design. Weird. Never thought about it, but that completely makes sense. Were people secretly the real T-Rex? It's possible. Just don't think about it too hard. Hey, I captured the thing, just so you know, we're just over here now. Alright, so that area's pretty much alright. We didn't quite genocide their entire team, but that's, whatever. Again, strange design decision on this game that you can't ever stop on a bridge. That's why. They probably didn't want to program an interaction where you're standing on the bridge when it explodes. Although I think there is actually one. No, didn't that happen last run? That there was somebody walking across a bridge when it exploded? Alright, I'm going to let him rest for just a moment so he can get ready for the plot fight. I'll just let all those guys disappear. I think we're safe to start moving down. And then just all pile on Debonair. Yeah, once you've taken over most of the map, they just suddenly decide that it's go time and they bail. As they should. Alright, so is this the event? No, it doesn't look like it. Maybe we're supposed to just come back at a different time. Oh, by the way, funny thing I found out. 'Cause for some reason I never thought about this before. But it turns out the weird naming conventions for the months and all this kind of thing in these games, based off the Chinese element system. I guess same goes for most games, because apparently Japan just kind of really likes referencing it for some reason or another. But it's just their whole, like, 5-element situation. It's kind of neat, the more you know thing of the day. This gap here, you're gonna fight a revolution? Do you have to? They didn't involve us in the war. He says after they just bailed after using his house, and we had several battles on his property, but okay. Fair enough, I guess. So, like, any other time would absolutely agree with that, but they 100% started this whole thing. I mean, for the most part, the Zenobians that show up here are just kind of going through a midlife crisis. They're like, you know, our last revolution went okay. I guess we'll just do another one. You know, just see how it goes. Just kind of, you know, just see what kind of new governments we can establish, and you know, hopefully it'll work out. If nothing else, we'll just have something to do for the weekend. Alright. So we'll just let Magnus go take a short nap back at base. Unfortunately, we've already taken more than 3 days, which is not great. Maybe it's not the how much you're winning the fight, but how many days you take. I feel like it's location-based, but oh well. Alright. I guess we don't really need Magnus. We can just get everybody else marching in here. So you're going to get some more sleep, have a good Christmas, don't let Debonair's here distract from stopping the revolution. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. You guys have a Merry Christmas. Hope you have an awesome one. Get some sleep. Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to wake you or anything. Was literally just kind of happened to be sitting here and already had coffee and couldn't sleep, so probably about to do the same after this whole thing. I just forget that Debonair's like actually is Zetagenian and not Zenobian. Close enough. Dude's like a demigod or some crap, isn't he? I don't know. It's unclear. How mortal the guy is seems to change on the day. I mean, considering he spends 2 entire games losing constantly, you'd think at some point, you know, it'd be established what he can actually survive or not. But he seems nigh immortal. I mean, they even get the heroic music and everything. He's not even the diva of the wind, he's the debonair of the wind this time. Along to the bridge burns. Fair. I figure we might as well let the entire team get some experience here. Oh, nice. Alright, we are about to lose somebody, so they're gonna bail. Yeah, I always appreciated the absolute chaos that happens when you're going and taking a final capital. Because it's a little bit annoying on the one hand, seeing your units repeatedly go back in while they're injured. But it's interesting how the kind of chaos it creates, you know? Because you're just there trying to manage all your units, trying to tell them to not run into suicidal situations, but it's already too late, they got themselves killed. I feel like it was done on purpose. Holy crap, what is this guy's avoidance stat? Jeez. The move looks so much cooler in this game. Alright, everybody take your losses. Beat this guy, and then we can go home. And then immediately join him afterwards. Alright, why don't we just go ahead and have you do attack leader. This should leave him with just enough health to hopefully get taken out by one of the other teams. Yes, I'm trying to see if I can get Swan's team to beat Debonair. Oh, never mind. That works too. So at this point, he's lost the original Zedginian conflict there, then he lost during March of the Black Queen, then he lost again, then he joined this team, now he lost again. Yet the guy never dies. It's funny how that works. Well, in this one you can, but actually I guess in both of them you can. Gilbert remembers he's in the story. What is that pose? Like, I swear, guys, I caught a fish. It was this big. Huh. So, yeah, basically, this guy's trying to take on refugees for Zenobia, which is, I mean, a recipe for success, I guess. I'm not really sure what they're planning to do, because, okay, Zenobia's issue wasn't lack of people. They clearly had a lot of people to throw at different stuff. I mean, they had a massive civil war and still had a massive population left over, but... yeah, yeah, come to think of it, I don't know what the hell their plan is here, because usually taking on refugees is a pretty expensive prospect, and mostly he's just siphoning off your population by the looks of it. Unless they're trying to build a mega army. Yeah, we couldn't bear to see you suffer. That's why we invaded. And there we go. This guy finally bothers to explain. Like, yeah, so everyone's getting manipulated. I mean, he's not wrong. See, the translation's not fantastic, but still, it's kind of a good point that they're trying to make anyway. Like, everyone acts like a complete weirdo, but okay, it's hard to explain, but it's kind of just an interesting moment, I always thought here. Because these guys are great, you know, they're basically trying to beat, like, ultimately, March of the Black Queen, even though they never directly fight Lotus, the whole point of the game is to prevent that invasion, just like every other game in the series. But they never bother to tell anybody this when they're doing all this stuff. They're just like, we started a rebellion down here, have fun with that. Also, we're taking a bunch of your people for reasons. The only guy we're going to bother telling is this one guy that nobody's going to trust in their nation. Okay, bye. Also, this is not true. There are several bad endings. Saradin, you liar, get out of here. You became a zombie last campaign. Little details. Yeah, you don't see many of these particular units. Like, it's supposed to be some castle guard version of the basic soldiers, I think. Alright, so there's Alba. Okay. First of all, let's go to area investigation and go do that fight in particular. And then we'll see if I'm remembering correctly on this town here. And then we'll see if Alba's the one that we need. Because if that's so, then we can get... I think it's Armageddon that you get there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would have started the event immediately. Oh no, there it is. That's weird. This guy's name, I never even noticed. Does he even say anything that causes him to have that description? Oh, that's pretty great. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, this is basically a free training fight. Just because it doesn't end until somebody dies. It kind of would have been cool to see more of this, actually. And in many ways, I wonder if FFT wasn't inspired by TO as much as this mechanic occasionally, because it's still your same 5v5 battles. And for some reason, a lot of them do seem to just, well, be them wailing back and forth on each other. Don't know why I say some reason there. The reason is pretty clear. Experience. And I believe she doesn't join, but she does give us an item. Anjou. And I gotta go check out their church. I'm gonna go rob a church to get thanked for stuff. See, I feel like what it should do, like if you decide not to go for, if you decide not to visit them in the church, then you, then you get something different or something. Like maybe you get a reputation bonus. That actually might happen. I don't know. I've never tried that. I know there's a lot of little moments in this game that potentially might have stuff like that. Like I will say, not many games I've seen match the... Okay, I guess not many games in the kind of relatively quick to pick up and do a run category ever match something like New Vegas in terms of just sheer interactivity behind different stuff that you can do. But, I mean, this series gets pretty close, I feel. Yeah, it's an Ansate cross. Okie dokie. Basically means that we can have, well, we can just gender swap our recruits. I'm a little bit surprised they bothered to make the mechanic like that. Because it's odd thinking that somebody was, it's gonna be okay, there we go. It's odd to think somebody was looking over the thing and was like, instead of just having them randomly roll one, we need to have them match their gender and then specifically make a separate item if you want to swap it. It's kind of odd. This guy's desk looks like an Altoid box. Alright, so I think it's the mine, and then you head back to Alba. Says the guy of the team that got apparently completely wiped out and taken by surprise. Don't worry, we're totally right behind you, no worries. I mean, you saved us last time, but that's fine, we're the better ones still. The complete 180. That's some weird phrasing. You're going to use his war record to your advantage like a promotion. I'm assuming that's mistranslated. It's supposed to be he's trying to get a promotion or something. Yep, his dad's totally dangerous, you know, stopping child murderers. Yeah, that's dangerous right there. Alright. So that's back to the mine again. Out of curiosity, yeah, that's border, that's Malaysia. Okay. Then we do mine again. I believe they take over the capital at that point. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if they found the opportune time as much as they created it. Yeah, simple enough. Is this the one with the flyers? One of these will have flyers, I know that. What kind of man is Frederick? He looks like a train conductor for one. Alright, so in the interest of, kind of need to go get a few things prepped, gonna go ahead and try to speedrun this one. Alright, so you're gonna go to there. You're gonna defend. I'm gonna go here as well. Send the main... probably going to send 3 units on attack, but everybody else in defense. Yeah, Troy... Nah, actually Troy can do attacking. I know he's primarily defensive squad, but he needs to get some experience. And there we go. Because really all we need is to capture those 2 spots. So you capture this one as a resupply point, and then can take that one. And that one's a bit of a long march, though, so you probably just camp people around here. In the meantime, the reason that they warn you about the other ones is I'm fairly certain they send a pretty big team to go attack from the south. But, yeah, there's the birds. I knew one of these was going to have the surprise birds. I think this was the first actual game over of the original run. Which, after a while, I actually decided not to even count the game overs caused by fort captures. Simply because so many of the maps are like, oh, haha, guess what? There's a bird! It just kind of felt crappy. Anyway. Actually managed to lose. Good job. Way to go, Troy. But yeah, that's why for a lot of these I'm probably just going to leave half the team sitting and just camping on the base. And I almost wonder if part of the design was intended to be a situation where you have, say, 1 legion doing all the actual fighting, and then you have everybody else sitting on your home base, and potentially spreading them out for defense as you capture more towns. Alright, weird. Exactly a draw. You almost never see that happen. Yeah, we're just gonna have them retreat because I don't want them to be losing any characters. And yeah, he'll almost certainly be able to take the town now. Because all they have to do is push them back once and that's it. So this one, I assume, will probably lead to possibly the Berserker and the Witch dead, with just the dragon running around. Otherwise, it's going to be... well, weird. Not sure why he threw his attack over there. Oh well, that works. Alright, they're definitely going to wind up decapitated after this one. If not completely eliminated... oh, nope, nope. Actually, that might save them. I'm not going to tell them to attack later here, because it actually would be just fine for them to attack a second time. And for anyone that might be looking at this and might be unaware, poison does not work the same like many other games in this one, because all it does is level you down for one fight, doesn't actually do anything serious. It's kinda worthless. I mean, like, if you... well, that is to say, if you got a bunch of units that did poison and you stacked them together with somebody that has, say, 3 attacks or something, they could potentially wear down the defense of anything. So maybe there's some potential for cheese on that one, but... it's kind of situational. Alright, and plate mail's not bad. Alright, so that was a liberation. I'm gonna have them rest for probably a few hours, and then I'm gonna have them immediately try to take the next town. Alright, we'll have Pop Magnus. Probably go try to take out the birdie. I can't quite do that yet. I believe they have to be over land for him to target them. Really no particular reason for having Magnus do it aside from the fact that he might get there a little bit faster than the others. Yeah, I got a Raven Man and 3 Hawkmen. This team is not amazing defensively, but potentially has a good chance to cause retreats. That's the big scary thing about Hawkman teams. In most cases, their DPS is pretty high. Like in this case, I'm pretty sure that because of that one guard, they probably already lost this one. Because they get a decent amount of attacks. Oh, actually did manage to push him back, weirdly enough. Not by my calculations, but if the game says so, I guess. Switch him over to attack strongest, maybe give him a little bit of a benefit. Perfect. So I think everybody but Troy can probably start moving forward now. And in fact, I think our best bet here might be to put Magnus and Troy sitting on that tile and move everyone else forward. Lost a guy, not ideal. Nice. Okay, just barely. Just barely, but they're definitely just sticking by. Okay, that's completely an accident. We might have to sacrifice that one soldier guy. They're gonna have the minimum of their possible attacks on this one. Yeah, he's dead. It's not great, but there's a chance for a bunch of promotions here. That's why I'm letting them go for it. Although, wow, they are just absolutely dead set on exactly not killing anything, aren't they? Which is, yeah, the downside of the attack strongest option, I suppose. Well, it seems like they're still going to get it. Yeah, there's absolutely no excuse for them not to completely rock this one. There we go. That's more like it. Alright, let's see what happens. Still going after Troy. I just don't want to leave this guy's team alone. Yeah, I was gonna say that has to be lost. There was no way. But they've got these little bird hit squads on every other map, it feels like, for most of the rest of the game. Like, I almost feel like they were supposed to be a New Game Plus feature or something that some developer had put in there, and somebody just went back and was like, well, I guess we don't have time to implement New Game Plus, just put them in the normal game. It's fine, people will find it annoying, but find a way to deal with it, right? Yeah, they might have just captured that town. How the hell is Troy back there already? That makes no sense. Oh well. Apparently Troy got there first. This guy's just everywhere, it's fine. Don't kill anyone. As they just barely survive yet another encounter. I mean, for what it's worth, they've held out really well. And we're good. Alright. Yeah, we'll say the zoom function in this game is hilariously worthless. You can zoom in like 3% of the way. Yeah, considering how short of a distance it is to win in this map, it takes so long, though. It's kind of surprising. Yeah, one of these squads that feels like it probably was put in sideways. Oh, is this when it started? The golems that are supposed to be weak to magic that aren't weak to magic? Nah. They really are relatively... Well, they're usually pretty weak to it. I don't know if they're strong against debuffs or something. I think aside from the one draw earlier, that's... I want to say the first time that her squad's actually completely lost an engagement. I mean, they didn't lose anyone, but still. That'll push them off the tile. They'll probably get pushed back, attack again, lose their leader after a couple more encounters. And then after that, we can start pushing towards that second town, and then from there we can take the last one and call it good. Are those three going to be enough to take it? They're going to have to be. Because I forget what the hell else comes, but it's, I mean, it's going to be a big number one way or the other. I'm fairly certain this is the one where you get the massive wave from the south. Right, good. So they're out of the picture now. And that guy is basically just free experience for anyone that's left. So that's all well and dandy. In fact, yeah, I think we'll have this one go finish them off. And how's this guy looking? Surprisingly good shape, actually. Alright, so we'll have them head up this way, start at least scouting out what we should be doing. Poor bird. I know, leave me alone. I mean, granted, he's probably going to end up taking a nap pretty soon here. Can he catch up to the birds? Almost. We'll see how that works out. Probably not very well. Gonna end up getting ambushed. I'm actually kind of hoping they do get ambushed. Although if the other guys are fully rested up, maybe that's not necessarily a good thing. Right, I guess they're just stun-proof or something. Yeah, they gotta be. Because, yeah, all things considered, I'm fairly certain they're at least a somewhat higher level, so it seems pretty unlikely that, well, if they're not immune, that they'd be able to keep taking shots like that. Either way, one more encounter and we're good here. So we're swapping the archers around a little bit. Just don't want to take any unnecessary risks. We're going to take a short nap. In fact, I feel like Sarah's squad should be the one to go take on them. These guys are going to break camp and move into town to go take their rest. Oh, this is the one that gives you the lightning spear, isn't it? Yeah, 2 archers, 2 phalanxes. Not very amazing on the offense front. But I remember that taking quite a few encounters. That said, though... okay. It's not ideal, but whatever. But yeah, that all said, I think we'll be okay there. That's all we need is a attack leader team. So these 3, I'm bringing Leia up just for a little bit. See if they can accomplish anything useful, but I think we'll probably be done with the fight before then. Okay, no shocker there. That's fine. Alright, he's gonna go hang out in the mountains. For all intents and purposes, we can just count him out of the fight for now. She's gonna go take her experience, and then we'll get Swan and the other one over to the right. Actually, yeah, I think all we're gonna need is just the two of them. So Leah's just gonna come defend this town up here. Have them sit in place, get attacked by these guys a couple times. That's fine. They were going for the sleep ambush, but that's why you hide in the mountains. Maybe this isn't the map where they send a crapload of guys at you. They're getting pushed back one way or the other, so that's fine. Oh, well and fine there, as the dragon walks straight off a cliff. A little bit surprised that that never came up in any kind of testing. Alright, we're gonna make an exception here and just try to take out the leader. Yeah, I think they can pull it off. Just because this team is assembled really idiotically. It's like they just expect it to be ambushed and nothing else. Yeah, they're probably going to attack again, take out the leader. They're going to take a little bit of a nap. And then they can go in to finish them off. Then after that point, we should probably get a promotion. Yeah, there goes the leader. There's that little plink damage on everybody. Work. Alright, so she takes camp, and then those two just attack later over and over. That's all we really need to do here. Just have her go join in just in case. Do I have anything extra here? No. And just Dio left over here. So yeah, we should be fine. Of course, should be is the operative term there. Something always finds a way to go wrong, doesn't it? Yeah, that's not going well on their unit count whatsoever. I'll probably just let them stake it out for the rest of this. I mean, granted, they're still getting experience and all that, so it's not entirely a bad deal or anything. So next we just go fight this guy, take their Earth Spear, whatever the hell that thing was. I think it's an Earth Spear. It's either Earth or Lightning, but either way you get a fancy spear. You give it to Troy, because it's his element, although for some reason it doesn't seem to boost it that much. Oh, jeez. Okay, that one Okay, we're just losing units everywhere. See, thankfully they don't lose their overall soldier experience when they're doing this. So, okay, at this point, it's definitely not worth pursuing anymore. But still. Like I said earlier, that team kind of expected to be ambushed. I was just kind of having them repeatedly take fights so that they can get their 1 experience each. And there's Mr. Freddy. It's funny because that's true. Yeah, there's this fancy Earth Javelin, I believe it's referred to. Again, falls under the same weird category of you got a solid leader, but you put them right in front for some reason. And if any of them get a crit here, they can just end this fight right here. In fact, they still might, and there we go. 1 round, that's all it took. And the other guys don't really need to retreat, or don't really need to surrender here, do they? And there's the Earth Javelin. Zombie! Alright, so here's the main turning point of the plot. As Mr. Magnus goes all emo. Well, this exact map looks very familiar. I sure hope I don't get ambushed again. Yeah, don't worry. He's totally a good guy. Definitely won't be a complete psycho later or anything. Oh, come on now. Another one of these? Hold on, let's get them removed. Again, I'm not really sure why exactly they figured to go down the route that they did. Like, if it was something a bit more questionable, but it was straight up like, dude felt like stabbing a kid. Literally was pointing a knife at a kid. Somebody comes and saves him, and everyone's assumption is no, that the kids, the kids are totally, that they just must be making it up. This guy just randomly had a knife out for no reason. This other guy must have murdered him. I mean, if he wants to be disarmed, okay. Technically speaking, this is a sword upgrade, so sure. This guy's attitude, though. Like, alright, I'm on board. I mean, we're rebelling. What the hell? Why not? I mean, he didn't need the sword upgrade. He already had one of these, but fine. And yeah, I can't help but notice that this the second team that did the Ogre games, like, they really love these sword standoff scenes. Because you got the same one in Night of Lotus. The one kind of mid-game with the cliff. So are you sure you're wanted by the entire army? Like, yeah, I don't know, though. I don't know, they seem pretty incompetent. Yeah, he didn't see him die, so why not? And apparently Warren just came in and dropped a bridge on somebody. Okay, so that one, by the way, I wasn't just not holding the button. There's a specific emphasis on Commander on that one. I think she's supposed to be saying it sarcastically. I do love how blunt they are about this turnaround, though. Because I feel like so many games would have done this whole thing like, oh, you gotta prove yourself to us and whatever else, instead of just, hey, so, can we just join you? Can we just skip all the other crap? Because, you know. Alright, so, apparently Dardanelles and everything else is a hot minute from here. Maybe it is an extra fight more than I remembered. So anyway, that's gonna be that for now, then. So next part will be whenever that happens. I don't know. I got a hell of a lot of stuff to get figured out in the coming weeks. And I got to figure out how to get a hell of a lot of surprise bills paid at a time when nothing is open. Alright, well, anyway, I'm off to go deal with that. So, you guys have a good one. Have a great Christmas. And, yeah, have a fantastic one. Take care.